Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive into wasps in New Zealand.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that can kind of ruin a good summer barbecue.
Hmm.
We're going to be taking a look at a whole bunch of sources today
Yeah.
to help us understand these little guys a bit better.
Right.
We've got websites from pest control companies
Moo.
like JAE, Kiwi Care, Rentokill,
Mm.
Waspman, Auckland Pest Control,
Wow.
some conservation info from the Department of Conservation,
Yeah.
and even some opinions from the NZ hunting and shooting forums.
Interesting.
I'm ready to get buzzy.
Yeah. It's a pretty fascinating topic,
It really is.
especially here in New Zealand.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everyone here seems to have a wasp story.
Yeah, for sure.
But before we get into all of those,
Right.
let's get a sense of the scale of this whole thing.
Right.
One thing that really jumped out at me was from Auckland Pest Control.
Mm-hmm.
They actually call wasps the most dangerous animal in New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
Now, that seems a bit dramatic, don't you think?
It does sound a little bit dramatic at first,
Yeah.
but when you actually look at the numbers,
Right.
it's hard to disagree.
Yeah.
They say that over 1,000 people need to go to the doctor or the hospital every year because of wasp stings.
Oh, wow.
And then on top of that, you've got a large percentage of the population
Yeah.
that have some sort of allergy to wasp venom.
Really?
Yeah. So that's a pretty big difference to other countries
Right.
where wasps are maybe seen as more of a nuisance.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it makes you wonder why New Zealand is such a hot spot for them.
Right.
Like, why here?
Well, one of the reasons is that New Zealand actually doesn't have any native social wasps.
Oh,
You know, the type that build those big complex nests?
right.
All of the ones that are causing trouble here, like German wasps, common wasps,
Yeah.
Asian paper wasps, they're all introduced species.
Oh, so they're not even supposed to be here.
No, they're invasive.
Wow, so we've just kind of rolled out the welcome mat for these aggressive invaders.
Yeah, pretty much. And they've made themselves at home.
They really have.
Like you were saying before about the Auckland Pest Control website,
Yeah,
they had that fact about the world record wasp nest.
they did. It was,
Crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, it was found in northwest Auckland.
Wow.
And get this, it was the size of a car.
A car.
The size of a car.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of a crazy example of how well these species have adapted to New Zealand's environment.
That's insane. No wonder people call the professionals.
Yeah, it's not just about the stings and the size of the nests either.
Right.
Auckland Pest Control actually estimates that wasps cost the New Zealand economy about $130 million a year.
A year.
Every year.
That's a lot of money.
It is.
What contributes to such a big price tag?
Well, wasps are super disruptive to a lot of different industries. So
Yeah.
for beekeepers, it's, they're going into the honeybee hives and just decimating them.
Right.
Then you've got the people in horticulture and forestry.
Yeah.
They're dealing with wasps damaging their crops and trees.
Wow.
Plus, they prey on native birds and insects, which has a huge knock-on effect.
Right, like a ripple effect through the ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not just like one problem, it's multifaceted.
Mm-hmm.
It impacts our health, our wallets,
Yeah.
and the environment.
Totally.
Yeah, it's a pretty serious issue.
It is. And then understanding the true cost of, these wasps coming in
Yeah.
is the first step to being able to deal with it effectively.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely not just a few pesky wasps buzzing around our picnics. This is a big problem with big consequences.
Yeah, for sure.
But it sounds like there's a lot of research being done to find solutions, right?
Yeah, there is. There is. The Department of Conservation in Manukaki, Wanua have some really interesting info
Okay.
about some of that research going on.
Oh, awesome. So what kind of approaches are they looking at?
Well, one that seems really promising
Mhm.
is biological control,
Okay.
which is where they basically introduce natural enemies of wasps,
Right.
like parasites or pathogens,
Okay.
to help control the population a bit.
So it's like a very targeted approach,
Yeah.
which is important when you've got such a unique ecosystem like New Zealand.
Yeah, you don't want to be harming other species.
Right, right.
So it's a real balancing act.
It must take a lot of research to get it right.
Oh, tons.
And like a real understanding of wasp ecology.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
So it's not just spraying them with bug spray.
No.
It's about, understanding them as part of the ecosystem
Right.
and how to kind of manage them sustainably.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. And it's not just scientists who are involved.
Really?
Citizen science is playing a pretty big role as well.
That's cool. What kind of citizen science initiatives are there?
Well, there are projects where people can report wasp sightings
Okay.
and, help monitor nest activity.
Right.
So then that data helps researchers to track the spread and, see how they're behaving in different environments.
But anyone can contribute,
Pretty much.
even if you don't have, a science background.
Exactly.
But kind of a cool way for people to get involved too, right?
Oh, for sure. It's a great way to connect with nature.
Yeah.
And, learn about the challenges that are facing the environment.
I love that.
Yeah.
Speaking of connecting with nature, this is kind of funny.
Okay.
But we found some interesting opinions about wasps from the NZ hunting and shooting forums.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
It does seem a little bit out of left field,
Yeah.
but hunters and anglers have a real interest in getting wasps under control.
Right, because they impact their activities, too.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, nobody wants to be swatting wasps away
Right.
when they're trying to, be in nature.
No, and plus, it's more than just a nuisance.
Right.
Wasp stings can be really painful.
Yeah.
And if you've got allergies, they can be dangerous.
It's a safety issue, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, and it really highlights how invasive species impact so many different parts of life here.
Yeah, like we've talked about the ecological impact, the economic impact,
Yeah.
and now the impact on just enjoying the outdoors.
Right.
Wasps are a problem that affects so much of life in New Zealand.
Yeah, they are a problem.
But there is some hope, right?
Oh, yeah.
With the research and the citizen science initiatives.
It's encouraging to see so much effort
Yeah.
being put into finding solutions.
That's great.
Yeah.
But what about, right now?
Right,
What if
yeah.
you have wasps on your property?
Yeah.
What can people do?
Well, we did get a lot of info from those pest control companies.
We did.
And, professional pest control can be super helpful.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got a large nest or a really established one.
Right. And it seems like there's a whole range of companies out there.
Oh, yeah.
Each with their own approach.
Yeah, like some of them.
Yeah.
Like JAE
Mhm.
offer all these home services, so it's kind of like a one-stop shop.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah.
Then you've got companies like KimiCare
Yeah.
that focus on giving you products and advice.
Exactly.
So if you're comfortable doing a little bit of DIY,
Yeah, doing it yourself.
that could be a good option.
Right.
And then there are global companies like Rent-A-Kill.
Yeah.
So if you've got international business interests or something, they could be a good option.
Yeah.
But for local knowledge here,
Yeah.
Auckland Pest Control seems like a good bet.
Yeah, they really emphasize their experience
Yeah.
and their safety record, which is really important.
That is important. You want someone you can trust.
Exactly.
And then there's Waspmen.
Right.
They specialize in those hard-to-reach nests.
Yeah, the ones that you need,
Yeah.
special equipment for.
Exactly. So it sounds like choosing a pest control company really depends on, what you need
Mm-hmm.
and the situation that you're dealing with.
Yeah, and it's a good idea to do your research and choose someone reputable that cares about safety in the environment.
For sure. For sure. This is a really interesting topic, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It really makes you think about how everything is connected.
It does. It really highlights that we need to kind of think about all these different things.
Yeah.
Research, pest control,
Mm.
individual action.
Right. So what can people do to make their properties less attractive to wasps?
Oh, yeah.
I know some of the pest control companies had some tips.
Yeah, they did. Just simple things, really, like
Right.
making sure your garbage bins are sealed up tight,
Right.
picking up any fallen fruit,
Okay.
and covering sweet drinks when you're outside.
So it's all about cutting off their food supply.
Yeah, pretty much.
And what about nesting sites?
Yeah, wasps love those nice sheltered spots.
Okay.
Like eaves, sheds, wood piles. So
Yeah.
if you can check those regularly
Yeah.
and seal up any cracks or openings,
Right.
that can really help.
So it's just about being a little bit proactive, making your property less, welcoming.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that.
Yeah.
What if you do find a nest, though?
Yeah.
Like, how do you know what to do?
Right. Well, I think it was Waspmen that really emphasized safety when
Yeah.
you're dealing with nests.
Mhm.
So unless you're absolutely sure it's small and inactive,
Yeah.
it's probably best to leave it to the pros.
Right. Because they can be aggressive when defending their homes.
Oh, yeah. And those stings can be nasty.
Yeah. I think that's good advice for anyone,
Right.
even if you're, good at DIY.
Sometimes it's better to just leave it to the experts.
I agree.
They've got the gear,
Yeah.
the experience, the knowledge.
I know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've talked about a lot today.
We have.
The problem, the impact, the research, the solutions.
Yeah.
What are some key things you want our listeners to remember?
Well, I think the biggest one is that wasps are a serious issue in New Zealand.
Okay.
They're not just a little bit annoying. They're a real threat to our health. to the economy, to the environment.
Right. It's a much bigger picture.
Yeah. But there is hope.
Okay.
We might not be able to get rid of them completely,
Right.
but we can manage them.
Right.
And that research into biological controls is really interesting.
It is.
And people can get involved with those citizen science projects.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and we can all do our bit to protect ourselves and our properties.
Yeah, being mindful of, what we do, making our properties less attractive to wasps.
Yeah.
Supporting the research.
Exactly.
It's not just a problem for, scientists or pest control people.
It's everyone's problem.
We can all be part of the solution.
Exactly. And I think by understanding this issue and taking action, we can create a future where wasps are less of a threat.
Right.
And New Zealand's environment can thrive.
That's a great way to put it.
Thanks.
This has been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
I've learned so much, and I hope our listeners have too.
Yeah. It's been a good reminder of how powerful knowledge can be.
Absolutely.
And how important it is to stay curious.
If anyone wants to learn more,
we
encourage you to check out those websites we mentioned.
Definitely.
The Department of Conservation. Manadaki Whenua.
They're great resources for staying up to date and, getting involved.
And, of course, those pest control companies.
Yeah.
If you need help on your property.
Absolutely.
The more we understand this issue, the better equipped we'll be to find solutions.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of wasps.
Thanks for having me.
Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe out there.
Bye.